Are we recording? We are. Hello, welcome back. I haven't done any booking, and anyone who's looking at this is thinking, right, this is Impact Wrestling Weekly. Nope, this is Impact Wrestling in 1988. We're in December. The reason I'm doing this is I think we need a recap, because the last time I recorded an episode, this was a year ago. This is the one save I was not going to get rid of. We'll run through the roster. I think we've got an amazing roster. I was just going through this before I started doing the recap video. We haven't even got, we've got a Randy Savage, we've got a Roddy Piper. There's no Ric Flair, there's no Hulk Hogan, which is surprising. I think we've got quite a good roster, to be honest. Without them, Truly Vanchard, Vader. Ooh, I forgot about Vader. Yeah, we're going to go through it all. Welcome back to 1985. Of course, I don't know where we were in terms of what you guys remember, but as you can see, we started in 1987 in January with Impact Wrestling Crash Landing. Actually, in March of 1990. Okay, March. And as you can see, the company expanded and grew from there, becoming bigger and better until 1988, where we exploded into TV deals in January of 1998. As you can see here, we got TV deal. We had missed one for some reason, and then we had MSG. And as you can see now, we're growing and growing and growing to the point we're now getting 14,000 for Sacrifice. Shawn Michaels and Big John Studd. We're going to go through this, and then we're going to go through the roster. So just so we can recap, we're going to follow on from this pay-per-view. I'm going to use this as my guide for what I'm going to do now for the next month. And then as of January 1989, because we were on the final month, and I lost all this and I couldn't get the database back because of my hard drive cable, which I've got after nearly a year. It's only $3.99, but we've been struggling a bit. But yeah, what I will do is I'm going to use this as my guide, so I want you guys to see this, and then we'll show you the champions and everything else, and then I'm going to go away and book the episode. We're going to do 2 impacts every episode, and then if there's a pay-per-view plus pay-per-view, how we used to do it. But yeah, we're going to run through the card. Obviously, that was the angle to welcome everybody to the pay-per-view. Don't ask me to remember whatever the angles are, because I don't bloody remember, because it was a long time ago. Rikai Kushner and Young Stallions defeat Owen Hart and Ring Combination to retain the 6-man tag titles. John Tenter defeated Doink the Clown to retain the Impact Intercontinental title, who will also show you the biggest stable in the company, which I do remember building and I always loved for. Tiger Mask defeat the Demon for the Impact X Division title. Tiger Mask beats down the Demon after the match. The Nightmare Lords defeat the Steiner Brothers to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. As I remember, we were trying to make them hold the titles for a whole year. Blue Doom and Gina, Al Phantasm and Al Panther defeat Danny Collins, Kendo Nagasaki and Sid Vicious. Mankind and The Undertaker defeat the British Bulldogs in a castic match. God, this was a good card. The Great Muta, Black Warrior, LA Park and Steve Blackman defeat Lex Luger, Jim Nadine Hart, Jerry Lawler and Arn Anderson. That's a really good match. God, we had a lot of wrestling on this. Yeah. Great Muta, Black Warrior, LA Park, Steve Blackman defeat Lex Luger, Jim Nadine Hart, Jerry Lawler and Arn Anderson. Nice match. Tornado defeats Sabu. I'm going to have to go through the roster. The Superflies, Ricky Knight and Jimmy Ocean defeat the High and Mighty to retain their tag titles. The Nasty Boys defeat the Rock and Roll Express. Robbie Brookside, Norman Smiley, Kenta Kobashi and Flash Funk defeat Archangel, Bam Bam Bigelow, Dave Finlay and Eddie Guerrero. Goldust and the Killer Bees defeat Conan and Acid Burn. Sting defeated Kyle Karma for the Impact United States title. Doink the Clown intend to post attack on Kyle Karma. Something's going on with Kyle Karma. I can't remember. I think I was turning him face and taking him out of the group. Brian Pillman defeated Chris Benoit to retain the Impact Lightweight title. Vader defeated Scott Hall. Tez defeated Mr. Perfect. Silent Slaughter defeated Ted DiBiase in a pole match. Jimmy Snooker defeated Larry Zbyszko. Roddy Piper defeated Trilly Blanchard. Then we got the Savage vs. Chuno music video. Masahiro Chono defeated Randy Savage. And then Shawn Michaels defeated Big John Studd in a 1v1 steel cage classic match. Where was... So that was the night. That was the card, which is quite good. Why is there no Bret Hart on there? If you saw Bret Hart, please let me know, because I didn't see him anywhere on the card. Obviously, he wasn't there that night. Which is very odd. Let's have a look at Bret Hart a minute. Where is Bret Hart? Here he is. He's written to us. He's a That's why. He was injured. Yes, so we don't want to take the title off him, but he will be back in 7 days. That's why he was out injured on that night. And that's why Masahiro Chono didn't face him. Right, anyway, that's the answer to that question. Everyone's on written deals because we're at that stage in the company. Let's have a look at our roster. In the main event scene, we have Arn Anderson, Big John Studd, of course, who's feuding with Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Dynamite Kid, Jerry Lawler, Jim the Dean Hart, Jimmy Snuka, Larry Zbyszko, Lex Luger, Masahiro Chono, Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, Ted DiBiase, and Truly Blanchard. I have Ted DiBiase in every single roster I do in the past in this era because I love Ted DiBiase. In the middle of the mid-card scene, we got Bam Bam, Damien 666, who's part of the tag team division, Davey Boy Smith. Aren't them two a tag team in this company? And if they are, why they're not a part of the tag team division? Or have I done something different with these two and split them up? Please help me out, guys. No, they're both. I'll have a look at that in a minute. And if that needs to be sorted, I can sort that. It's not an issue. I'm still, because I've been editing and recording and stuff. And other things. I haven't really said it. Dave Boy Smith, Jim Powers, John Tenter, Mr. Perfect, who is a heel, a monster heel, and he's the Intercontinental Champion. Mr. Perfect, Paul Ramone, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Sergeant Slaughter, Stinger, The Great Muda, The Undertaker, Jericho. He's obviously a part of the Impact World Tag Team Champions. Vader. I do remember actually the majority of this roster and what was going on, which is weird when I haven't been near it for over 9 months. I think it's just under a year actually. I think it's been about 8 months. I think it was November we lost all of this. Then in the mid-card scene we got Black Warrior, Bob Holly, Brian Blair, Brian Knobs, Brian Pillman, who is also part of the House of Cornette by the looks of it, Doink the Clown, Goldust, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Sags, Jim Burnsville, Jimmy Ocean, Juice von Liger, Kyle Karma, LA Park, Mankind, Owen Hart, Rick Steiner, Ricky Knight, Rikai Kush, Scott Steiner, Shane Douglas, the Demon, who was LA Parker. See, he's now a face and is no longer a Jim Cornette. I need to sort that out. Because he turned on the group, I remember that. I actually remember booking it. He turned on Jim Cornette, didn't he, and left the group. The same as Carl Karma, because Carl Karma didn't work with, if I remember, yes, he was, because he couldn't work with Jim Cornette as a manager, so I took him out. Takesha Kawada, who's one of our wrestlers that is written to us, even though he's loyal to All Japan. I don't know how he wasn't hired to All Japan when we got him. I think that was that one. We've got Al Snow in the lower mid carder, Blue Demon Jr., Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kendo Nakasaki, of course. Forgot about him. And he's also part of the House of Cornette by the looks of it. Kenta Kobashi, Norman Smiley, Steve Blackman, Tiger Mask, and Tornado. God, we've got an interesting selection of wrestlers. I do remember Tornado because I remember he's been around since the very first show. Archangel, Danny Collins, Dave Finlay, Conan, Roy Brookside, Sabu, Sid Vicious, and Taz. Oh, good roster. I like this roster. I'm going to be going through the entire roster, including the referees and stuff. El Phantasma, El Panther, Flash Funk, and Steven Regal, all the Richmond talent. I don't really classify a Richmond talent because everyone gets anything. We did have a women's division for a while, but we got rid of it. I remember that. Got no occasional wrestlers. We got any managers? Jim Cornette and Paul Bearer. Of course, managing The Undertaker and Mankind. I think Mankind is injured. I might be wrong. I think Mankind got injured because I didn't see him on the list. This is who we're playing as, Jesse Frontiera, and he is the colour commentator of Impact Wrestling. He is also the owner. That is who we were playing as, if you remember. Our announcer, of course, if I remember rightly, is Jim Ross, and we've got Tony Schiavone, who does all the backstage stuff as well. Referees, we've got Billy Silverman and Il Hebner. Only 2 referees, which is interesting. Our authority figure, we ain't got no authority figures, and I don't think we've got any personalities either. Our road agents, I want to remember who the road... Ollie Anderson. Here you go, Ollie Anderson retired, I remember that. He was working as a manager for a while, but he's now the road agent. We've got no personalities. That is the company as it stands. Our champions, And I looked at this and I went, Jesus Christ, I was mad on titles back then. Bret Hart, who's out with a minor concussion. John Tenta, who defeated Ken Nakasaki for the belt after it was vacated because he was injured. And it went back. He got injured, and then the Impact Intercontinental title, which was actually the grand title, the picture is, went back to John Tenta because of him, but he's had 9 defences. Brian Pillman is your lightweight champion. He has 6-man tag team champions with Kai Kush, Paul Ramon, and Jim Powers. Your Impact tag team champions are Ricky Knight and Jimmy Ocean. United States champion is Stinger. Shawn Michaels is the Impact World champion. I think we need to sort out some of these pictures because those 2 belts are the same. United States champion is Sting. Shawn Michaels is the world champion. World tag team champions, and I think that's the same. Just a different angle. Damien Sixton, Tarocco, and Tiger Mask is your X Division champion. I will be back when I book the show, and I'm going to sort out some of those pictures. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is season 2, starting in December of 1988. Welcome back. We're back. 1988 in December, the first week of December. We are back. Don't know how this show's going to go because I've got to get in the swing of this, but we're in front of 6,300 people at the Matthews Arena. In a preach about a decent wrestling below heat, Flash Funk, Al Panther, and Al Phantasma defeated Steven Regal, Archangel, Danny Collins 734, and Flash Funk defeated Steven Regal by pinfall of Flash in a pan. Steven Regal's weakness, Johnny Chaos and Ring form, that's fine. Archangel doing off his game, but his gimmick Archangel has a gimmick that's getting stale. Golden Rumble. Okay, I know what that's for actually. Arc. As you can tell, I've not been on here for over a year, so a lot of stuff has had to come to me, and I've had to kind of. There is a bit of a piss joke about that in the beginning. Archangel. So if you see me making notes, that's I like you to see me taking the notes and stuff, so I remember what I'm doing. Al Phantasma 54, Al Panther 48, Flash Funk 47, Danny Collins 55, Archangel 47, Steven Regal 35, Al Panther in Techno a 54C minus. I forgot how good this roster was actually. A 67C plus in a decent pre-show match. Nightmare Lords defeated Rock and Roll Express and 815 when Damien 66 defeated Ricky Morton by a pin for the Powerbomb. Nightmare Lords make defense number 18 of their Impact World Tag Team titles. Robert Gibson 69, Ricky Morton 61, Tarocco 64, Damien 666 58, Robert Gibson in Rumble. Jim Cornette did good work at ringside. I remembered how much we use him after this show. In a preach about decent wrestling, but not much in the way of heat. Steve Blackman, Norman Smiley, and Kenta Kobashi defeat Tornado, Brian Pillman, and Doink the Clown out of 3 when Kenta Kobashi defeat Tornado by pin for the Orange Crush. Kenta Kobashi 66, Norman Smiley 47, Steve Blackman 52, Doink the Clown 54, Brian Pillman 68, Tornado 48. No work of improvements at 64C. In a pre-show bout, they didn't have a decent wrestling, but not much in the heat. The Supernatural Force, which I have just given them that name, for some reason they weren't as a proper tag team yet, they hold the belts. Defeated the Steiner Brothers in 705 and Mankind defeated Scott Steiner by pin for the pile drive. In terms of ring work, Scott Steiner's finish was announced, Mankind was weak link. Scott and Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner 69, Rick Steiner 60, Mankind 49, The Undertaker's up there with 69. These two don't work well as a team, I don't care, 67C+. I'm ignoring that because I need them as a team because they're part of the group. In a pre-show battle, had decent wrestling number 3, the Demon, Carl Carmen, Goldust, and Black Warrior defeated Bam Bam Bigelow, John Tenta, Vader, and Jim the D-Not in A13 when Carl Carmen defeated Vader by a pin for the top rope splash. Carl Carmen's weakness should have some ring performance. We know that Carl Carmen is struggling because he's, new to the business and he's learning. Demon's getting better at his gimmick. Jim connected good work alongside Jim. The D-Not's off his game. The injury at Jim Nardotto, is injured. Black Warrior 58, Goldust 52, Carl Carmen 37, The Demon 52, Jim the D-Not 56, Vader 60, John Tenta 53, Bam Bam Bigelow 60, Goldust in Flying, and John Tenta improving in Rumble. 60C plus, not bad. In a feature about good wrestling, a decent the crowd, the British Bulldogs defeated Winning Combination in 8-18 when Dynamite Kid defeated Bob Holly by pin of the power clean lift diving headbutt. In terms of ring work, Dynamite Kid had 10 shoulders for no ups. Dynamite Kid 84, Davey Boy 74, Bob Holly 58, Jeff Jarrett 63, no work improvements. Before we get back onto the main show, I have to say something after I've had a quick drink. Is I forgot how much fun this company was to book. Just going through the roster and realising where I've mucked up in a few bits because I haven't been with it for so long. But as soon as I started booking storylines, everything that I was doing about 8 months ago was coming back to me, and I knew where I was going with storylines straight. It just came back to me like I was only doing it yesterday, which is very weird. But 77B, and we're getting 85B plus to open up. I forgot how good this roster was. Big John Studd comes to the ring and he goes, "Last night, or 1 year ago," as a joke, I should have won the steel cage match and took the belt off the turncoat Shawn Michaels. I had it set in a steel cage match. No interference, but that asshole finds a way to interfere in the match. Not only did he knock me off the steel cage, he passed the chair to Shawn, who then pinned me for the win. This is no longer a fight, this is a war. And for Final Revolutions, I want a first blood match with Jim Cornette banned from ringside. And Jim comes out and he goes, "So you want Shawn again? And this time in a first blood match? And I'm not allowed ringside? Fine. You know what? Let's do it. Why? Because Shawn is the greatest superstar in Impact Wrestling, and he's going to make you bleed first." And Shawn just gets up in the face of Studd and goes, "Studd, you made a massive mistake. It's going to be the end of your wrestling career. Hope you're ready to bleed." Yes, my friends, I remember actually having, because we've got Masahiro training versus Bret Hart set, but I remember having this in my mind for the big party at the end of the year. And the big party at the end of the year was always going to be a first blood match. Now, you know I do this just so I don't get shit ratings because everybody complains. So we'll do a regular one for the wrestlers who don't like hardcore, but still be a first blood stipulation, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's going to be Big John Studd versus Shawn Michaels, first blood, for that beautiful bout. And I will show you in between shots. I'll give you a quick rundown. I have changed. I should have done it before I recorded this, actually. But I'll do it before I start the next episode and click run. I'll show you the new pictures I've got from an older save that they're being used by other people. But it makes all the bouts look unique. But an 85B plus to open up the night. And we've got our first match for Final Revolutions, our second match, really. In about decent wrestling with much heat away in heat, Rikai Kush and the Young Stallions defeat Owen Hart and the Nasty Boys at 7:51 when Paul Ramone defeated Owen Hart by pin for the flying elbow drop. Rikai Kush and the Young Stallions make defense number 4 of their Impact 6-man tag team titles. Owen Hart 65, Jerry Sags 49, Brian Knobbs 55, Jim Powers 46, Paul Ramone 51, Rikai Kush 68. Jerry Sags in Rumble, Paul Ramone in Rumble, Paul Ramone in Techno, and Rikai Kush in Techno at 64C. And this is where I started getting the swing of the company again. I forgot how thirsty I get when I'm bloody recording. I can talk for love or England. This was a good match, actually. In an extremely short match, Tiger Mask defeated Ali Park in 4 minutes 52 by a pin for the Tiger Driver. Tiger Mask makes defense number 1 of his Impact Exclusion title we won last night. Ali Park and Tiger Mask have great chemistry in their performance. Well, I'll be making a note of that. That'll be the feud for him after Final Resolutions. Ali Park 56, Tiger Mask 72. No work improvements of 75B minus. Not a bad match. And out comes the Demon. Wow, look at you. Mr. X Division. Tiger Mask, the only reason you got that bout is because of the asshole next to you. Of course, that would be Jim Cornette. You see, I put up with his crap for over a year, then I stabbed him right in his back. I'm so glad I did. He's a disgrace to this business and this company. You think you won last night? Fine. You did. With his help. But a Final Revolution, we're going to use the most innovative match yet. It is the return of Ultimate X, and it's me versus you. Jim starts having a screaming having a tantrum, and he keeps blaming me. Jesse Ventura at the ringside. But as I have mentioned previously, when we were doing this originally, we, Mr. Jim Jesse Ventura doesn't make the matches. He is just a colour commentator and the owner of the company. We have a championship committee here in Impact Wrestling, and they're the ones who decide on what matches happen. And they have decided that it's going to be an Ultimate X match for the X Division title at the pay-per-view, and I hope you're ready for it. I'm ready. This is the final, this is like one of the big 4. It's also the last pay-per-view of the year, so I wanted to give it that big fight feel. And there's another match I've kind of booked that I wasn't sure of booking. I remember when I was doing this last year, as I've said, I was thinking about booking this match last year, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I'm going to go with it, and I'm hoping that you, the fans who watch on YouTube, think it's a good decision. If not, I'll change it, but, we'll see where it goes. A 40-16, not the best, but not a bad angle either. In about that good wrestling and a decent match of crowd, Sting defeated Mr. Perfect in 7:48. He makes defense number 1 of his United States title. Mr. Perfect 70, Sting 63, no work improvement, 73 B minus. And then we see the British Bulldogs backstage being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and Tony don't ask him any questions, they just start talking. Last night we lost the casting match, but a caster won't keep us down. We're still standing. One more and then Kid looks at Tony and takes the mic and goes, one more shot, one more chance in a brand new match, a buried alive match. See you at Turning Point, boys. So yes, Final Revolutions. I don't know why I put Turning Point. It's Final Revolutions. Why did I do this all the time? I give the pay-per-view wrong game. I should really check. 2v2 buried alive match. Have we got it in the game? I swear we got it in here. There it is. Buried alive. I'm going to keep it as a brawl based. I don't mind that, because I do feel that these guys will probably pull this off. But the Supernatural Force versus them in a buried alive match for the tag titles. Oh yes, it's happening. And there it is, booked in. I'm so happy with that. 59C. Really excited for that one. In about that decent wrestling, much in the way of heat, the Superflies defeat High and Mighty 732 and Ricky Knight defeat Al Snow by pinfall. The pile driver, the Superflies make defense number 4 their Impact Tag Team titles. Al Snow 61, Juice von der Liger 64, Jimmy Ocean 48, Ricky Knight 46, Jimmy Ocean Performance 63C. I like that. I'm still a big fan of the Superflies. Of course, Ricky Knight running WAW is a close friend of, I've seen WAW, I've seen him wrestle, so to have him on this roster still, he ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, believe you me. 63C, I can't complain with that for a tag title match. Jim Cornette's backstage with Masahiro Chono. And Jim's like, I had it with Impact Wrestling. You're trying to put my men through hell. This man should have faced Bret Hart last night, but no, he got injured. Now he's not here tonight, and he's hiding again. Bret Hart, if you're not here next week, then you will be stripped. Then that title will be stripped from your race, and it will go straight to Masahiro Chono. So Bret Hart's got to be here on Impact next week. Otherwise, the title goes to Masahiro Chono. Ooh, fireworks. You have to wait and see next week, which will be after this episode. In about a decent match in the way of Heat Acid Burn defeated Killer Bees in 756 when Shane Douglas defeated Brian Blair by pin for the pile driver. Oh, that's why these two tag. I was really confused why I was tagging them. Tatsuya Kurada 72, Shane Douglas 56, Jim Burnsall 60, Brian Blair 54. No comments. Because when I saw Acid Burn, I'm like, why am I tagging these two up? And it makes sense. 70C plus. Beautiful match. In about that superb wrestling and great heat, Truly Blanchard, Randy Savage and Jimmy Snuka defeat Jerry Lawler, Ted DiBiase and Roddy Piper in 748, when Randy Savage defeated Ted DiBiase by pinfall. Jimmy Snuka 69, Savage 84, Truly Blanchard 73, Piper 90, Ted DiBiase 78 and Jerry Lawler 78. This was meant to advance a few storylines, but didn't. I must have booked them wrong. I'll have to check when I do next week's Impact, because I know that these guys are all feuding, or sort of feuding, and obviously I've booked it wrong. I've got the wrong people. I'll check that next week. Next up is Stinger in the back, and he goes, last night I won this beautiful bout off Carl Karma, and now he's been turned on. The House of Cornette is a vile piece of work, and Doink the Clown in 4 weeks of Final Revolution, I'm going to kick your ass for all the Stingers out there. So before I get on to the next paragraph, I'm going to quickly book that in for you. Oh, notepad. You don't need a notepad for this. So Final Revolutions, my friends, it's going to be the Icon, the Stinger. He's going to be facing Doink the Clown. I think this is... We've had him since day one. How many belts has Sting held now in Impact? Because that's what I'd be interested in. Let's click on his switcher. He's written to us, so he can't go and work anywhere else. He's had the United States title, and that is it. Which I'm quite surprised of, actually. Bearing in mind I'm a big Sting fan. But yeah. News archives. Sting signs with IW. Sting extends deal with WWF to tour with BWF. He then signed an exclusive contract with us in August of 1998. So he's been with us since 1998. Stinger versus Doink the Clown is happening. And this is the month of giving. So next week, me and Carl Palmer will have a rematch right here on Impact. Now I know that I'm doing it... Excuse me. Oh, my throat is playing up like no buggery. Right, I know that next week there are two faces, but next week it's going to be Sting and Kyle Karma on Impact Wrestling for the rematch for the title. I don't want to do it for Final Revolution, that's going to be Impact Wrestling TV. So yeah, that will be next week on television. Kyle Karma versus the Stinger for that title. He's going to have his rematch. 57C minus on Sting. Not bad. He's getting better. In about that, decent wrestling nominatory heat, Dave Finlay, Conan, Sid Vicious, Eddie Guerrero, and Kenan Nakasaki defeat Benoit, Blue Demon Jr., Taz, Sabu, and Robbie Brookside in 7:54 when Kenan Nakasaki defeat Taz by pinfall the power of hypnosis. Conan improving in performance. Robbie Brookside was off his game. Jim Kilnett did good work at ringside. Now it's quality and the colour commentary in the match of boost. Brookside 42, Sabu 62, Taz 48. Blue Demon Jr. 53, Chris Benoit 66, Kenan Nakasaki 49, Eddie Guerrero 63, Sid Vicious 41, Conan 54, Dave Finlay 55. Kyle Karma and John Tenter have a massive brawl backstage. That's ahead of their, because them two are in a feud, and it's going to be John Tenter versus Kyle Karma. It's going to be the battle of the big boys. I'm looking forward to this actually. This is something I saw and I was like, ooh, you're booking two fat men wrestling each other. I can say that because I'm fat myself. But yes, John Tenter versus Kyle Karma for the, I can't remember what belt he's holding. I think it's the United States belt. I can't remember. Please have D-. There's a lot of belts to remember. In about that good wrestling, decent card, Scott Hall defeated Lex Luger by pin in 7:47 by Phil the Razor's Edge 76B minus. Scott Hall 75, Lex Luger 66. No work improvement 76B minus. In about that good wrestling and decent crowd, the Great Muda defeated Larry Zbyszko in 8:03 by pinfall. Larry Zbyszko 69, the Great Muda 66. No work improvements 74B minus. Your main event tonight is Shawn Michaels. He will be defending his title against Sergeant Slaughter. There's a little video playing showing their graphic. In about that superb wrestling in great heat, Shawn Michaels defeats Sergeant Slaughter in 1938 by pinfall the Sweet Chin Music. Shawn Michaels makes defense number 8 of his Impact World title. Sergeant Slaughter 65, Michaels 90. No work improvements. And then after the match, Big John Studd comes out, and there's a massive brawl. Shawn Studd grabs a chair and uses it on Shawn. It busts Shawn wide open. Shawn's blood is pouring down his head. John Studd basically rubs the blood onto his hand and then rubs it on his chest. He goes to do more damage before security run and break them up. We zoom in on Shawn Michaels' bleeding head as we close the show for the TV fans. But we do have a dark match as Big John in a pro-show bout had superb wrestling in great heat. Big John Studd defeated Arn Anderson and Masahiro Chono 30-20 when Big John Studd defeated Masahiro Chono by pinfall. These two showed out some chemistry team together. Big John Studd 86, Masahiro Chono 84, and Arn Anderson 81. No work above 61C. We're going to end the show there, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this one. 74B minus, increased our popularity in 45 regions. I'm just going to say any problems with this show as it was. I need to swap this around as well because it winds me up. This is my return to this save. I haven't done this before, but now I have an idea of who's good at doing what. We can book the shows a bit better. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week for another edition of Impact Wrestling. And will Bret Hart show up, or will he lose his title? I'll see you in a couple of ticks. Hello, and welcome back to TEW 2016. We're live, uncensored. And we're going to be coming to you. Right, so as I promised yesterday, we're going to have a quick look at the new pictures of the titles. Obviously, some people have already used these. But there's the Impact Championship. The Intercontinental Championship, which is actually the Knockouts title, but I like the look of it. There's the Lightweight, which is another version of the X Division. There's your 6-man tag teams. There's your Impact Tag Team Champions. United States Champion also is a Knockouts belt. Impact World Tag Team Champions, and then the Impact X Division Champion. There you go, that's the new titles. Let's get on with this show. Ignore that and that. We'll explain that in a bit. But we're in front of 5,000 people at the CA Event Centre Arena. And I'm thinking about continuing this and getting to the Turning Point pay-per-view and getting out of this month for the rest of this episode. So expect 2 more impacts before this is all done. Al Snow had Right, in a pre-show about a decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Acid Burn and the Supernatural Force defeated the Killer Bees and the High and Mighty in 7:35 and Undertaker defeated Brian Blair by pinfall the Tombstone. Al Snow had a ring-win performance of 55, Juice Wundalaga 60, Jim Burnsall 54, Brian Blair 50, Mankind 53, Undertaker 67, Tetsuya Kawada 65 and Shane Douglas 53, Mankind in Technical and Undertaker in Performance. 63C, not bad. In a preach about decent wrestling, but little heat, Taz defeated Conan in minutes 43 by pinfall the T-Bone Suplex. Conan 53, Taz at 47, a 56C minus. Conan in performance, a 56C minus. I repeat myself, I'm still getting remembering how to do all this. In a piece of decent wrestling, but little heat, Road Brookside, Flash Funk, Al Panther, and Al Phantasma defeated Archangel, Danny Collins, Steven Regal, and Tornado. In 7:59, when Al Phantasma defeated Danny Collins by pinfall. I only remember we got Global Force Wrestling in the save, which used to be another company which was changed to Ring of Fire, then Global Force, as our training grounds. Al Phantasma 51, Al Panther 48, Flash Funk 47, Roy Brookside 49, Tornado 44, Steven Regal 40, Danny Collins 51, Archangel 44, Archangel in performance, and Robbie Brookside in performance of 52D+. In a feature about decent wrestling, little heat, Dave Finlay, Kenan Nakasaki, Owen Hart, and Sid Vicious defeated Kenta Kobashi, Chris Benoit, Blue Demon Jr., and Sabu in 5 minutes 33, and Kenan Nakasaki defeated Kenta Kobashi by pinfall the Kawasaki Crash. Jim Cornette did good work on ringside. Nas Politin and Color come together match of Boost. Sabu 56, Blue Demon Jr. 51, Benoit 65, Kenta Kobashi 63, Sid Vicious 41, Owen Hart 63, Kenan Nakasaki 45, Dave Finlay 52, Kenta Kobashi performance, Sid Vicious and Rumble, Dave Finlay improving technical. I don't mind him being low on ratings in ring, because he's getting on a bit now. Poor guy. Anyway. In a future out decent wrestling with Omar Cheap, Bam Bam Bigelow, Doink the Clown, and John Ten to defeat Norman Smiley, Ali Park, and Black Warrior in 6:22, and Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Norman Smiley by pin for the Powerbomb. Black Warrior 56, Ali Park 51, Norman Smiley 42, John 10 to 49, Doink the Clown 55, Bam Bam Bigelow 59. Norman Smiley in performance, Bam Bam Bigelow in performance, John 10 to in technical and flying at 59C. There he is. Then in a decent pre-show match, Lex Luger defeated Steve Blackman and Mr. Perfect in 6:04 when Lex Luger defeated Steve Blackman by pinfall. Steve Blackman was the weak link. Lex Luger 65, Steve Blackman 44, Mr. Perfect 68, Steve Blackman proving flying. I've done these two triple threat matches because of the Sting versus Kyle Karma match we've got coming up later on. So that's the reason behind that. In a future decent match with Omar Cheek, Tiger Mask defeated the Demon and Vader in 5:54 when Tiger Mask defeated the Demon by pin for the Tiger Driver. Tiger Mask makes defense number 2 of his Impact X Division title. Tiger Mask 65, the Demon 56, Vader 61. Tiger Mask improving in Rumble and Vader in Techno at 67C+. And then we should be on to the opening angle of the night. Jim Cornette comes out with Masahiro Chono to the ring. Last week, I told you if Bret Hart was not back here, my man Masahiro Chono will get the. I've been here all day, and there's been nothing from him. He's not here. So Jesse, how about you get out of that seat and come in here and give the House of Cornette the belt. The belt. Bret is not here, mate. And then Bret Hart's music hits, and the fans go flipping crazy because he hasn't been seen for over a week. So he comes out and he goes, I've not been here for the past week because I had a small concussion, but I'm back here tonight. You better get ready, but I'm back. And tonight, you better get Sean ready, because me and Stud will be taking down your stupid horde. This isn't about titles, Jim. It's about you making sure you have power in this company. It won't be long till your tag team champions, will lose the belts. And Shino goes, shut up, you idiot. In 2 weeks of final registration, that belt will be mine, and I'll take it back to Japan with me. Fine, whatever, idiot. I'll see you later. I'm going to get ready for our tag match. With this, he drops the mic and walks off. Chuno charges at him, but Bret turns in time and clotheslines him. Bret starts stomping on him. Security run up to break up the brawl. There you go. So we're continuing this feud between Masahiro Chono and Bret Hart. I do remember this feud, but Jim Cornette absolutely despises Bret Hart for some reason. We made it out to be. I don't know why. But yeah, 5,000 people at the CA Event Centre. Can't complain. And in an opening, in a battle about decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat, the Brian Pillman defeated the Great Muta in 7:53 by pinfall the Leaping Frosting Lariat. The Great Muta was not eligible to fight for the Impact Lightweight title due to weight restrictions. The Great Muta 61, Brian Pillman 65. Great Muta technical. As far as I'm concerned, he is in the weight limit of the lightweight title, but I might be wrong. 69C+. I did check that before putting that belt on the line, but there you go. In a bout of good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the British Bulldogs defeated the Nasty Boys in 7:42 when Davey Boy Smith defeated Brian Nobbs by pin with a power, clean lift, dive, and diving headbutt. Dynamite Kid 10 shots for nuts, Jerry Sags 48, Brian Nobbs 56, Dynamite Kid 83, Davey Boy 74, Jerry Sags flying. I'm just going to have a quick drink because I know what's coming up and I do want to be my best for this. It's time for the return of the Paul Heyman, the Paul Bearer, sorry. Promo. I've left it for this episode and I am ready. By the way, I'm recording this today after I recorded the last, the weekly and the other ones. You think we are scared of the Buried Alive match? No, we're not. Oh, no. You're forgetting I own a graveyard, and my two boys dig the graves for me. You see a fair in the resolutions. You're gonna be buried alive. Oh, yes. I put we, I don't know why. And then we cut to the announce table. Not very often I do this. I think we need to do it more often. Looks like stuff's going off here in Impact, Jesse. You got some big news, and this is huge for the future of Impact. And then Jesse takes the mic, sits there and he looks at the camera and goes, after a battle with the new Ted Turner company, WCW, we have won the battle to take over JCP. We have agreed that Ted Turner can have the WCW TV. We have brought all the titles to Impact and Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Ron Simmons and Stan Hansen. All events were sent to Ted Turner for an undisclosed amount of money, and let's get on with the action. So, for TV and legitimate reasons, we sold the events and WCW TV to Ted Turner for an undisclosed amount of money. But we kept all the titles and Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Ron Simmons and Stan Hansen. Right, is that all settled? Awesome. And in about good wrestling and decent crowd, Stan Hansen defeated Ron Simmons in 8:16 by pinfall wrestling lariat. Stan Hansen 86, Ron Simmons 54. He's Davies Cowboy going above average. Ron Simmons badass poor. No work improvements, but a nice little match to introduce them to the people. And then we go to the back where we see Kyle Karma. And Tony's like, what's on your mind at the moment with the match coming up tonight? And Kyle goes, everything is changing and the House Corner is losing power. Its power over Impact. Later tonight I face Sting. My mind is not there. And I don't care if I win or lose tonight. All I care about is John Tenter and taking home his Intercontinental title back to the UK. I need to... For some reason, he's still being managed by Jim Cornette. I really need to sort that out. Right, while I'm in this screen, I'm going to book some more matches to the card for you. For storyline reasons, I haven't really spent much time with these matches, but they are storylines. I am going to concentrate on giving them the best I can. Obviously, I'm concentrating on other things. I don't know how I managed to have these storylines going at the same time back in when we did this originally, but we'll accept it. And I'll do it now while I remember. So we've got Ted DiBiase versus Sergeant Slaughter on the card. And also on the card, you're going to get the Jimmy Snuka versus Larry Zbyszko match as well. Obviously, I put these matches together back when we needed more star power. But, yep, there we go. Jimmy Snuka, Larry Zbyszko, that's good. I think that's all of the major storylines now. Except for the... I keep forgetting about that one. I need to do something with that next week on TV because I haven't done nothing with the Steiner brothers and the current reigning defending Nightmare Lords, who have been the tag team champions for flipping ages. I don't think we're up to a year yet, but we're getting close to a year, I think. Right, so that's it. I need to note to self, take Jim Cornette off managing Kyle Karma. We need to do that. In a bout of good wrestling, the D-Special crowd, Arn Anderson, Jim the Dino, and Roddy Piper defeated Goldust, Scott Hall, and Randy Savage in 608 when Arn Anderson defeated Scott Hall by submission. Randy Savage 84, Scott Hall 70, Goldust 50, Roddy Piper 90, Jim the Dino 56, Arn Anderson 74. Hall in Rumble and Goldust in performance, 75B-. And Tony goes, Jim, you asked for some time to talk, and he's got Shawn Michaels with him this time. I had it with Impact Wrestling, and then bringing in names like Roddy, and now some big names from JCP. Look here, Impact Wrestling. Remember who got you where you are, the House of Cornette. We built this company stone by stone, and come final revolution, we will hold all the gold in this company once again, and be the top dogs. Now, I do want to add more people to the group so that they can kind of get hold of the, have a legitimacy going after the tag team 6-man tag titles and stuff. But we'll leave it as is for now. 78B from Cornet and Sean, not bad. In about that, great wrestling and good heat. Dusty Rhodes, Simon Storm, and Jimmy Snuka defeated Larry Zbyszko, Jerry Lawler, and Ted DiBiase 7-11. When Dusty Rhodes defeated Larry Zbyszko by pin with a Bionic Elbow. Jimmy Snuka 66, Sergeant Slaughter 63, Dusty Rhodes 82, Ted DiBiase 78, Lawler 79, Larry Zbyszko 66. Dusty Rhodes in flying and performance, Slaughter in flying 77B. Not bad. In about a decent wrestling with much heat, the Rock and Roll Express and the Steiners defeated Superflies and the Nightmare Lords in 8:40 when Rick Steiner defeated Ricky Knight by pin for Flying Bulldog. Scott Steiner 62, Rick Steiner 52, Robert Gibson 55, Ricky Morton 57, Chirocco 58. I'm going to put that. I'm actually going to put that in Google Translate and make sure I'm saying his name right. Damien 666 55, Jimmy Ocean 47, Ricky Knight 45. No work of improvements. And 60C, not bad. Can't complain. Thank you. I only opened you up briefly so I can get onto Google Translate in a minute. And then Damien the Demon is backstage. I don't know why I called him Demon. I spelled right. You see, all night Jim Cornette has been crying like a baby to Impact Wrestling. Like they care. Jim, hey, they hate you as much as the roster do. And the only reason they won't fire your ass is because you'll sue them for more money than we have. And in 2 weeks' time, you think the power's coming back your way? It's not. It's coming back. It's coming Impact Wrestling's way. The Impact Edge doing storyline and it's advanced but lost heat. I don't care really. Sting and Doink have a backstage and no embrace on a massive brawl. I didn't really want to write another angle out for them too. In an exceptional match, Ric Flair defeated Truly Blanchard in 7:27 by pinfall. Nature Boy gimmick with both average. These two have great chemistry. Truly Blanchard 80, Ric Flair 79. No work improvements. And I will be making this match official for Final Revolutions. I might go on and make it a storyline for 3 months after, but putting them in tag matches because Dusty Rhodes will have a storyline as well going forward. But it will be Ric Flair and Truly Blanchard, which I think will be a good storyline. Because he left, obviously, they're former members of the Four Horsemen. He's a founding member of the Four Horsemen, so, we've got to utilise what we knew. See how that goes. At Final Resolutions. Yeah. In about a decent wrestling, not much to do with how much heat. Sting defeated Kyle Karma in 8:25 by pinfall. Sting makes defense number 2 of his Impact United States title. Kyle Karma 38, Sting 65. No work improvement. I'm not bothered about Kyle Karma, to be honest. I like Kyle Karma. He's a good wrestler. Jimmy Snooker's backstage and goes, Impact Wrestling, listen up. In 3, it says Final Resolution on that night. I'm going to win. And then on to the world titles. Yeah, Jimmy Snooker just saying he's going to beat Larry Zbyszko and move on to the world titles. Thank you, Jimmy. And Tony. In about a decent wrestling with much heat, Rikai Kush and the Young Stallions defeat Eddie Guerrero in the ring combination. In 6:06, when Rikai Kush defeat Bob Holly by pinfall. Rikai Kush and the Young Stallions made defense number 5 of their 6-man tag team titles. Eddie Guerrero 56, Bob Holly 44, Jeff Jarrett 52, Jim Powers 47, Paul Ramone 46, Rikai Kush 65. Jeff Jarrett in performance, Paul Ramone in technical, Jim Powers in rumble and technical. And that will be the final appearance of the 6-man tag titles. I'm going to answer the phone and I'll be back in a second. Welcome back. Sorry about that. I then had to call Trimmingham up because I'm about to kill someone. But anyway, let's not put that in a video in case she does die. Then it's up to, we're just at the main event and then all hell breaks loose as a video plays hyping Bret Hart and Big John Studd versus Jeff Jarrett and Shawn Michaels. Jeff Jarrett? Why the flip is Jeff Jarrett in here? I don't know. But in an exceptional match, Bret Hart and Big John Studd drew with Masahiro Chono and Shawn Michaels in 1954 following a double countout. I don't know if I've done this before in the save, but I thought I'd do it for this one. Big John Studd 85, Bret Hart 82, Michaels 90, Masahiro Chono 77. No work of improvements on 82B. And then after the match, Bret Hart, Big John Studd, and Massimo trying to Shawn Michaels won't stop fighting, despite the attempts by security to break it up. It's an all-out brawl to the back. Or it's an all-out brawl till the cameras close off at the end of the night. We're going to end the show there. A very short and peaceful second piece to this will be edited in. 79B increased our popularity in 45 regions. I'll see you guys in a little bit for the next part. Thanks for watching. We're 2 weeks away from Final Resolutions. Then we'll do Final Resolutions. We've got one more Impact, Final Resolutions, and then we'll do the end of the year review of Impact. And then next week we'll go back to the normal schedule of 2 Impacts and then 2 Impacts on the pay-per-view. Doing this special because I'm returning to this. And actually I think I'm now starting to get the swing of booking wrestling again. Yay! Are you ready? In an extremely short pre-show match, Justin Burn and Supernatural Force defeated High and Mighty and the British Bulldogs in 4:37 when The Undertaker defeated Al Snow by pinfall the Tombstone. Dynamite Kid's getting Barry's gimmick, announced quality and the colour commentary of the match a boost. Dynamite Kid 74, Dave Boy 68, Al Snow 55, Juice from the Liger 60, Mankind 48, The Undertaker 69, Tetsuya Kawada 65, Shane Douglas 59, The Undertaker in performance, and Liger in performance 69C+. In a pre-show battle, had subpar wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Robbie Brookside, Al Panther, and El Phantasma defeated Steven Regal, Archangel, and Danny Collins 624 when Al Panther defeated Steven Regal by pinfall the top rope Frankie Steiner. Al Phantasma 52, Al Panther 46, Roy Brookside 44, Danny Collins 47, Archangel 41, and Steven Regal 41. Danny Collins Rumble and Steven Regal in performance 51D+. In a pre-show battle, decent wrestling, Little Heat, Norman Smiley, Kenta Kobashi, Blue Demon Jr., and Taz and Sabu defeated Dave Finlay, Conan, Tornado, Kenan Nagasaki, Owen Hart in 5-6, and Sabu defeated Dave Finlay by pinfall the triple jump moonsault. Sabu 55, Taz 41, Blue Demon Jr. 49, Kenan Kobashi 60, Norman Smiley 43, Owen Hart 63, Kenan Nagasaki 44, Tornado 42, Conan 49, Dave Finlay 50. Kenan Kobashi is improving in performance, and Conan is improving in technical. Right, talking about Kenan Nagasaki because he's getting on close to the end of his career. Any wrestlers that have performed for us who retire at any time in the game will automatically be inducted into my Hall of Fame. And every 10 years of the company's life, we'll have a look and see who's in the Hall of Fame. The only person who is in the Hall of Fame at the moment is myself, Jesse Ventura. I inducted him as the owner because he was the owner of the company, so he's in the Hall of Fame. But anyone else who retires during that time, you'll get to see it. They'll go into the Hall of Fame as we head to modern day. But the 58C minus not bad. In a pre-show about decent wrestling, Madonna Cheat, Sid Vicious, Tiger Master, Nightmare Lords, defeat Black Warrior, Steve Blackman, and the Killer Bees in 6:17 when Sid Vicious defeated Steve Blackman by putting the powerbomb. Jim Burnsville 56, Brian Bear 51, Steve Blackman 46, Black Warrior 58, Tiger Master out there was 63, Sid Vicious 45. Turocco 63 and Damien 66657. I am saying that correctly. I've googled it on Google Translate, and that is correct. It is Turocco 60C. In a decent future match, Great Muta, Kai Kush, Ale Park, and Goldust defeated Jim Nadine, Lex Luger, Mr. Perfect, and Vader in 7:57. The Great Muta defeated Vader by pinfall. Ignoring that, Goldust 57, Ale Park 50, Kai Kush 66. The Great Muta 75, Vader 67, Mr. Perfect 70, Lex Luger 68, Jim Nadine 56, Vader in Technical 74B minus. I will have my medic tablets when I finish this. I do need them today. In a feature about Great Wrestling and decent match crowd, Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Scott Hall in 9:33 by pinfall the powerbomb. Bam Bam Bigelow 67, Scott Hall 77. No work improvements. Right, we're ready to go on the main pay-per-view or the TV show because I bloody well am. Ooh, this didn't do that well. Yeah. Didn't think it would, but we'll see. I will let that slide. Jim Cornette's in the back and he goes, "We are here in the House of Cornette locker room. You see, Brett, Massimo training is ready for you in 2 weeks. The Steiners want in 2 weeks. The Steiners, you want these tag belts? Bring it, boys. They'll destroy you. Now, Big John Studd, you want to face Sean? Fine. First blood. That's awesome for my man. He can't wait to make you bleed like you did to him 2 weeks ago. You see, we can control the company. Now we hold both the tag belts. As the Superflies are now in the House of Cornette. Now I'm going to manage my new clients in their match. Impact will hold all the gold, and any more won't stop me. And when I do, I'll buy his company off Jesse because he can't run Impact as good as I can." Jim Cornette's Droid, Master Trainer, Shawn Michaels. Should have kept these two on script. Damien 66 and Rocco struggled to not be on script. Let me just move my phone and my program watching and dodge all the pile of crisps I got next to me. The colour commentary attributes. Performance Jim Cornette's good. Performance of Shawn Michaels fantastic. Rocco looked lost, and so did Damien 66. No work improvement. 67C plus, not bad. I'll accept 67. And in a decent match, the Superflies defeated the Rock and Roll Express when Ricky Knight defeated Ricky Morton by pin with a pile driver of Jim Cornette interfered. Superflies make defense number 5 of their Impact Tag titles. It made sense to me that, with Jim Cornette trying to gain control of all the titles, and he's got the lightweight, he's got the X Division, he's got the majority of the titles except for Bret Hart's, I think. I thought it was only wise that, these two realised the power shift, and, Ricky Knight and Jimmy Ocean wouldn't be silly. It would be silly for them not to join if they can keep the belts longer. Robert Gibson 62, Ricky Morton 68, Jimmy Ocean 48, Ricky Knight 50, Ricky Knight improving performance. These guys are getting better with every single performance, so I'm proud of that. 63C. In a bit of a decent wrestling, little heat, Brian Pillman defeated Chris Benoit in 822 by pin with a flying corkscrew crossbody. Brian Pillman makes defense number 5 of his Impact lightweight title. Chris Benoit 62, Brian Pillman 66. For some reason, Brian Pillman is a part of the House Cornette, but he doesn't have Jim Cornette. I swear he's a part of the House Cornette. I might be wrong on that, but 70C plus, not a bad match between them two. This has skipped an angle. Okay, right. There's an angle where I don't know why it just skipped an angle. There's an angle where these guys are in the back having an interview with Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette gets suspended for 1 week. Because of the actions, that doesn't happen yet. Sorry, that's later on. But basically, John Taylor and Doink the Clown, they're hyping up their matches with Sting in that. Sting and that Kyle Khan running and attack him, and then after the commercial break, it's this tag match. Anyway, in about a decent wrestling with cheat, Kyle Khan and Sting defeat John Taylor and Doink the Clown in 8-10 when Kyle Khan defeated Doink the Clown by pin with the top rope splash. Kyle Khan was winning strong house in performance. Sting 55, Kyle Khan 31, Doink the Clown 56, John Taylor 48, Kyle Khan and Sting have 0 chemistry. John Taylor Rumble, Techno, Flying, and Performance. Kyle Karma in Performance. We're working on Kyle Karma. He's been here for nearly a year now, and he's just constantly improving. He's one of one of the British stars we've got. And as I say, we're going to go to Britain some point next year for our first ever TV taping out of the UK by American Wrestling Company. We have got I installed a load of companies from the 2019 database, so we've got more companies. And stupidly, I forgot that WWE NXT will come over, and so will WWE. And WWE NXT UK. What happened was I changed WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, to Outlaw Championship Wrestling. So there's now 3 big companies. You've got Outlaw Championship Wrestling, WWF, and you've got the newly opened WCW. And WCW's roster, which I'll show you once we get to the end of this month. I'll show you that after going for the thing. Is quite an interesting roster. So is Outlaw Championship Wrestling. We'll go through both of those rosters. I think it's quite interesting to have more companies floating about. Well, 55C minus. And then we got Paul Bearer in the back. We're in a dark graveyard. The camera pans to Paul Bearer. Mankind and Undertaker digging a grave with the gravestone was buried alive in the final Revolution of 1998 on it. So very similar to what they have in real life, but they have the date on it. Because we don't have dates in the game, I can't be bothered to do that. And Paul Bearer's saying is like, oh yes! We are getting ready to bury you alive in 2 weeks of final Revolutions. My boys are digging your final resting place. Oh yes. Your end will be our beginning. My Undertaker is the biggest and most terrifying thing in all of wrestling. Mankind is unique and terrifying, and them together is the worst fears of anybody, and it's gonna be your hell. Oh yes. And Jim, well, that was terrifying, but a lot better than Jim Cornette. And Jesse goes, I'm quite surprised that the board has allowed this match to go ahead. Next up, the Demon. We see the Demon's getting ready for his match backstage when Tiger Mask and Jim Cornette run in the attack, and Jim starts hitting with his racket, and Tiger was using the X Division title. Jesse's like, that is it! Cornette, after tonight's show, you're suspended 1 week without pay, and if you turn up at the show next week, you'll be breaking your contract, and you will be fired. Well, I think Jesse Ventura has just lost his nut with Jim Cornette, and next week he will not be at Impact Wrestling. Yes! Not good for me because I've got to book the show without him. But, it is all going to play off at Slammiversary. It's been 1 year of hell for the House of Cornette, and it's all going to play off. at some point. In a decent match, the winning combination defeated Young Stallion 757. Bob Holly defeated Jim Powers by a flying leg drop. Jeff Jarrett carried the match. Bob Holly 52, Jeff Jarrett 71, Jim Powers 52, Paul Ramone 49. Paul Ramone improving technical. Jeff Jarrett and Bob Holly show chemistry teaming together. 660 plus. Nice little match. In a battle for a decent wrestling below heat, Eddie Guerrero defeated the Demon 802 by pinfall with Frog Splash after distraction by Tiger Mask. Eddie Guerrero 61, the Demon 52. No work improvements. 61C. So yeah, Tiger Mask still interfering in the match, so we'll have to see what the, or board of directors or even Jesse feels about that. Probably next week at some point. You think you're going to beat me in 2 weeks? Hell no. Jimmy Snuka, you think you're so good, you're not as good as the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. And when I beat you, the board will have to put me in the world title picture. 74B-. I thought I'd put these two storylines on the wayside. In a extremely short match, Stan Hansen defeated Flash Funk in 2 minutes 58 by penalty elbow drop. Flash Funk 48, Stan Hansen 59. We've got a tour. I don't know how he's torn his Manchurina. But we've now got an injury to Flash Funk. 57C-. Just a way to get Stan Hansen over a bit. Thank you, Ollie. And then Ted's here and he goes, everybody's worrying about the House of Cornette. And they forgot about me and my hatred of Sergeant Slaughter. You see, Sergeant Slaughter, ever since I came to Impact, I have hated you. You're a nasty piece of work, a disgusting lump of crap, and need to be dealt with. And in 2 weeks of final resolutions, I'll end your wrestling career for good. Ouch. Yeah, you saw me book it, and I felt that this week, with everything how it's been booked, I can fit these guys on the show. So we've also got a promo by Ric Flair in a little bit, which I'm looking forward to doing. In about that decent wrestling cheat, the Steiner Brothers defeated the Nasty Boys in 7:58, and Rick Steiner defeated Jerry Sags by pinfall the Steiner device. Scott Steiner 64, Rick Steiner 55, Jerry Sags 48, Brian Knobs 59. Brian Knobs improving in form 64C. And then in a good match, Larry Zbyszko and Ted DiBiase defeated Sergeant Slaughter and Jimmy Snuka in 8:14, when Ted DiBiase defeated Sergeant Slaughter by pinfall. Jimmy Snuka 67, Sergeant Slaughter 62, Ted DiBiase 75, Larry Zbyszko 69. No work improvements. 76B-. Tony's at the back and he goes, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! Ric Flair last week debuted for Impact Wrestling. It is sad that JCP has been laid to rest by Impact and WCW. You see, I should have gone to I could have gone to WCW or OCW. But why would I go there when I could be here and be the dirtiest player in the game? Jesse, you bought something worse than the House of Cornette, and now all members of the Four Horsemen are here. But truly, you don't want to ride again? If that's how you feel, then in 2 weeks of final resolution, I'm going to end your career in Impact. Woo! So he's acting as a bit of a face, and then I turn him back to the heel. Very similar to what Ric Flair promos were like. He would act all good guy, and then all of a sudden just turn heel on everybody in the promo. Brilliant. And then next up, we're going to have a nice little 77B 8-man tag match with Ron Simmons, Truly Banjo, Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes defeating Ric Flair, Roddy, Jerry, and Arn Anderson in 8:28. When Ron Simmons defeated Jerry Lawler by pinfall the Dominator. Ron Simmons the weak link. Dusty 86, Randy Savage 83, Truly Banjo 76, Ron Simmons 56. Arn Anderson 77, Jerry Lawler 88, Roddy Piper 90, Ric Flair 84. Ron Simmons in technical and performance, and Roddy Piper in technical. I also like to say this past week I have had to give pay rises to both Undertaker and Chris Benoit. Just saying. Just those bits of backstage stuff you might not know. But next up, we're going to have a Falls Count Anywhere match between Bret Hart and Big John Studd versus Shawn Michaels and Masahiro Chono after the board of directors were not happy with the way the main event from last week's TV taping ended. It's Falls Count Anywhere, guys. It is next. In an exceptional match, Shawn Michaels and Masahiro Chono defeated Big John Studd and Bret Hart in a Falls Count Anywhere match in 2001 when Masahiro Chono defeated Bret Hart by pinfall. Masahiro Chono 78, Shawn Michaels 90, Bret Hart 81, Big John Studd 86. No work improvements. That is the end of tonight's TV show. A 78B increases our popularity in all 45 regions. My friends, we'll see you next week for the episode, the go-home edition of Impact Wrestling, and there is no Jim frickin' Cornette. Welcome back to Impact Wrestling. We got some special visitors today with us on this episode of Impact, and there will be a reason clear for it in the opening angle, but hopefully you'll be able to tell what's going on with Impact during the pre-show. Welcome to the Four Seasons Arena in front of 4,601 people. In the pre-show about decent wrestling, but little heat, winning combination of Doc Dean and Avalanche PN News in 8:22 and Jeff Jarrett defeated Dr. Dean by pinfall. In terms of ring weight, Jeff Jarrett was head and shoulders with everyone else. Avalanche PN's News was the weakness through the chaos up with everyone else in-ring performance. Put your teeth in, Josh. It would be recommended if you're recording. So anybody you see, like Doc Dean, Avalanche PN News, or anyone you're not sure of or you don't remember, are all a part of Global Force Wrestling, which was American Wrestling Association. We then took it over, made it a child company, called it Ring of Fire, then changed it back to Global Force Wrestling. Okay, makes sense? Awesome. Should we move on then? So anyone you see like that tonight, special visitors, we're doing a go-home show, and it's going to be a bit of a complicated one, but we'll get through it. Avalanche PN News 31, Doc Dean 46, Bob Holly 52, Jeff Jarrett 62. Avalanche PN News improved performance. That's why he is down in the training grounds, because he is very young and not very good. We'll give him an opportunity. In a preacher about decent wrestling, but little heat, Stephen Regal, Archangel, Danny Collins, Dave Finlay defeat Benoit, Blue Demon Jr., Taz, and Rory Brookside 97. Dave Finlay defeat Chris Benoit by pin for the spear. Rory Brookside 43, Taz 44, Blue Demon Jr. 52, Benoit 63, Dave Finlay 49, Danny Collins 50, Archangel 43, and Stephen Regal 44. Taz in performance and Robbie Brookside in performance a 58C-. That is a very weird picture of Hogan I picked for this, actually. In a preacher about decent wrestling, but little heat. Carl Carmen, Steve Blackman, Enormous Money, Kenta Kobashi defeated Bam Bam Bigelow, Conan, Tornado, and Mr. Perfect in 7:44. And Carl Carmen defeated Conan by pin with the top rope splash. I forgot to do a promo with you. Oopsie doopsie doo. Kenny Kobashi 61, Enormous Smiley 39, Steve Blackman 50, Carl Carmen 38, Mr. Perfect 71, Tornado 44, Conan 48, and Bam Bam Bigelow 68. Kenta Kobashi improving performance, Conan technical. Now, I could have sent Carl Carmen because he's on his rookie year, I do believe. He won't be once it hits, because he came in the same time as tag belts. So I could send him into GBF, Global Force Wrestling, but I've been using him an awful lot in my booking and storylines, and I think I'm going to be doing... It might go quiet for the next 3 months, so the start of 1989, but he will come back into prevalence again. You know, I like using it. I like mixing it up with as many wrestlers as I can. So, yay. Another two guys from the training grounds, the UK Pitbulls. In a preach about Paris and Little Heat, the Rock and Roll Express defeated the UK Pitbulls in 7:51. Ricky Morton defeated Bulk by a pin for the double drop kick. Now, I don't think these guys turned up until at least 1980, 1996, 1997, or even as late as 1999, 2000. But for some reason, the game has given them to me in 1988. So they are young, but they are working for Global Force. Bob Gibbs for 58, Ricky Morton 60, Bulk 29, Big Dave 37. Big Dave had a leg injury and was out of wrestling from 2010 until a couple of years ago now, I think. Just all over a year ago. And I was actually at Holt when he made his return in the ring to do the first appearance and his return match in wrestling at Holt with his brother Big Bulk as UK Pitbulls. Bulk is European's largest heavyweight wrestler. And by that, he is fat. He is absolutely bloody massive. But he's brilliant and he's very popular with the hometown crowd. Anyway, let's move on about me talking about my fantasy of Bulk. In a preach about subpar wrestling on assistant crowd heat, Goldust defeated Axel Rotten in 7:41 by pin for the final fantasy. Hello, Axel Rotten, another guy who's in Global Force Wrestling. Goldust 54, Axel Rotten 28. Axel Rotten improving in Rumble and performance. Well done, at least you're learning something by coming up. And hopefully we'll explain what is going on. Jerry Lynn and Ball Payne, another two. I do believe Jerry Lynn was working for us for a period of time until he went down there. In a decent pre-show match, Truly Blanchard, the Great Mill of Ron Simmons and Rikai Kush and LA Park defeated Paul Payne, Jerry Lynn, Jim Nadine Hart, Alex Luger, and Roddy Piper in 8:02 when the Great Mill defeated Jerry Lynn by pinfall. Roddy Piper's hand shoulders with runner-ups, that's fine. LA Park 51, Rikai Kush 66, Ron Simmons 57, the Great Mill 65, Truly Blanchard 73, Roddy Piper 90, Lex 65, Jim Nadine Hart 57, Jerry Lynn 42, Ball Payne 30, and the Great Mill improving in Rumble. Ball Payne was the weak link, that's fine, he's in the training grounds for a reason. And now we'll explain to you what is going on. This is a weird idea I had. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm giving it a go. We get an 85B plus to open up, which is better than last week's opening angle. And John Studd's in the back with Tony Schiavone. He's like, It's funny how Jim Cornette gets suspended, and the whole of House of Cornette go home with a tail between their legs. The House of Cornette are not here tonight. And my God, do we feel the change in atmosphere here tonight. We're not looking over our shoulders, nervous of who might attack us tonight. Tonight is back to good old Impact. This Sunday night is Final Resolution. It's our New Year's Eve party. It's our New Year's Eve party. And it is New Year's Eve. And our New Year's Eve party, I'm going to make sure Michael's bleed better if he turns up on Sunday. And then we cut to the cameras ringside, and Jim's like, "Hello and welcome to Impact Wrestling. With what we've just been told, with me is Jesse. Jesse, can you tell me what's happening with the House Cornet, and is it true they're not here tonight?" And Jesse looks at him and goes, "Yeah." And they have missed important house shows this week as well. They have not showed up tonight. Earlier today at Impact head office, we had a phone call from a lawyer who said they work for Jim Cornette and they don't have to work for Impact if he's not here. Now, that's not true. That's not true. He manages them. They are under contract by Impact and they will be docked wages for all the shows they have missed. So, yeah, none of the House Cornette are here tonight. All of them have been given a week-long holiday, 1 week, which means I'll be back Thursday because I forgot to do Jim Cornette and I thought I'd do all them at one time. The only one I forgot to give a holiday to is Tiger Mask. So he is not booked anywhere on tonight's show. He's just been left in the back on a bench somewhere. In about great wrestling and decent match crowd, the British Bulldogs defeat the Steiners in 8:45 and Davey Boy Smith defeated Rick Steiner by pinfall with a running power slam. Dynamite Kid was the best and Rick Steiner was the weak link. That's fine. Scott Steiner 58, Rick Steiner 57, Dynamite Kid 85, David Boy 73. David Boy improved once. The reason I did this idea and why I had this idea was I could do matches like this. You know, matches that you don't normally get to see on Impact because we are very much a heel versus face company. I wanted a couple of face versus face matches, and I've got a few on tonight's card that I think are really three altogether. In about a very good release of wrestling and didn't have much heat, the Demon defeated Black Warrior in 8-4 by pinfall the Sky Twister pressed. Black Warrior 60, the Demon 54, no work improvements. 55, 56 C minus, not a bad match actually. That did better. The Demon sustained a floating bone chips in this match. What the frick is that? Shall we? Oh, is that done? Awesome. Shall we have a quick Google of that, guys? I know it's gonna. The floating bone chips. Bone chips are in the elbow, or smooth piece of bone or cartilage have come loose or float around the elbow joint. Cartilage is a tissue that lines them. So basically, Son McKinney's elbow has come loose and is floating about. Lovely. Hopefully he's ready for Sunday night in the Ultimate X match. I asked for this mic to send a message to Tiger Mask and all of the assholes in House Cornet. You have taken the piss. You are champions, and as champion, you represent Impact Wrestling. Now you're not here tonight, which means these fans here and watching at home don't get to see the champions. You see, it's wrestlers like Black Warrior that show you guys up. This Sunday night live on pay-per-view in the Ultimate X, I'm going to win back my X Division title. And Tiger Mask, you're going to feel the true power of the Demon as long as I get cleared to wrestle. I'm going to say that because in case he's not going to be fit or he's not allowed to wrestle with the injury he's got. In about a decent wrestling middle heat, Sabu, El Panther and El Phantasma defeat Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart and Sid Vicious in 8-5 and Sabu defeat Owen Hart by pinfall triple moonsault. Sid Vicious was a weak link. So yeah, this allowed me to put little matches on like this, what we normally keep to the pre-show. We've got nice little El Panther, El Phantasma and Sabu, who are openers and a Richmond talent equally, to take on these guys. It's quite good to have these guys on. El Phantasma 53, El Panther 46, Sabu 56, Sid Vicious 36, Owen Hart 61, and Eddie Guerrero 59. Sid Vicious improved the Rumble. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready for April of next year. I do believe I said April. I'm just going to check that's when it is. Yes, April next year. We'll find out why in a bit, but April next year for this company is going to be oh dear, El Phantasma's got a damaged eye. Oh, we've got Jimmy Snooker. He's not very good on the mic, is he? And then Tony's like, Jimmy, you asked for some time. Last week, Larry Tabitha said I'm not as good as him, but I am a megastar. Tonight, the door opens for us to make waves as the House Cornet is gone and he's not making a show all about him. You see, tonight, me, Dustin, some sort of main event in Impact. And I'll prove it then I am as good, if not better, than Larry. There is a fourth man in that match because I kind of made it an 8-man tag instead of the triple threat. And now you're going to find out why I'm on about April. Here we go. This Sunday night on New Year's Eve is buried alive. And it's going to be the undertaker of mankind. And Paul, if we get a chance, we'll throw you into. You see, we are the British Bulldogs. And we have power. But you don't know it. And kids, like next year, April, Impact makes history when we're going to the UK for the Victory Road pay-per-view, and the Fallout TV show will be live from its shores. And in April, when we go home, we want to be the heroes that get rid of the supernatural force. Impact Wrestling is coming to the United Kingdom, my friends, in April of next year. I know it's in a game, but it's our first show in England. It'll probably be the first actual... I've looked at all the other big companies, and even WWF haven't done a show in England. So we'll be the first American promotion to go from here to the shores of Britain and do a live pay-per-view and TV taping simultaneously the night after. Yay. And Jim's like, big news for our UK fans, as for the first time ever, we're coming to you for a pay-per-view and TV. This Sunday's not going to be a party, it's going to be a war zone. And Jess is like, yes, there's a lot of stuff going on in the back, but I can't wait to see what happens this Sunday. 60C, can't complain. Oh, this did well. In a decent match, Supernatural Force defeated Young Stallions in 8:21. Undertaker defeat Paul Ramon by choke slam. Jim Powers 53, Paul Ramon 52, Mankind 46, The Undertaker 59. No problems. I'm going to keep working these guys together because I have read somewhere online you can make them tag. If you keep tagging them, they'll get better at working together. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. 59C. In an exceptional match, Bret Hart defeated Big John Studd in 8:90. 9:41 by submission as sharpshooter. Big John Studd 87, Bret Hart 82. No work approach 82B. Beautiful. And then Bret Hart gets the mic. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever be will ever be. WWF dropped the ball with me and my brother, so he came here. He turned on me. How's the Cornet are after me? Every time I turn around, it's like someone is coming after me. You see, Impact should be about great competition like me and Studd just did. But no, it's politics all over. You see, Masahiro Chono, the only reason you're not here is because you know you can't win without Cornette. And this Sunday night I'll beat you, even with him at your side. So Bret Hart cut in a very nice little promo there, if I do say myself. And now we've got the Steiners. What's going on here? What the Steiners got? Everybody, the Steiners. Look at this house. Look at this. The House of Cornette free. House of Cornette free Impact. And this show's been rocking all night. We got to face the Bulldogs, and we're so happy we got to do it. This Sunday night, we're going to take down the longest champions in Impact Wrestling. My brother's got it bang on this Sunday night. We're going to welcome in 1989 with being the World Tag Team Champions. Bold publications there by Scott and Rick Steiner. In about that Superb Wrestling in good heat, Stan Hansen defeated Scott Hall in 8:19 by the Western Lariat. Scott Hall 72, Stan Hansen 88. No work improved, 75B minus. In about that decent wrestling, in about that great wrestling and decent national crowd, Ric Flair defeated Stinger in 9:46 by pinfall. Sting is 81, Ric Flair 82. No work improved. These two have pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. A1B, nice. And then we got the Rock and Roll Express backstage, and Ricky's like, so we just got the best news. Me and Robert will be facing the Superflies for the gold this Sunday. And Robert goes, I'm so excited. Impact is one of the best tag team divisions in the world. And this Sunday night we'll make history as the new tag team champions. Ooh. So yeah, another match added for Final Revolutions this Sunday night. As the Superflies have now got their opponents. And the question is Impact Wrestling trying to make life hard for the House of Cornette? Too damn right we are, but you know, I absolutely adore booking this company, and I do love the House of Cornette. The House of Cornette is like a very early version of the NWO, but better. Because what I haven't told you guys, and what the wrestlers don't realise, I think, and I'm hoping it's coming across, and if not, I'm hoping to make it obvious, is the only reason Jim Cornette is doing it is to try and get power of the company. He doesn't care about the people who are under contract with him. Hopefully that realised that. I was trying to make that point clear with Cole Farmer. In that short match, the Killer Bees and High Might defeat Acid Burn and the Nasty Boys in 5:19 when Juice von der Liger defeated Shane Douglas by the Liger Bomb. El Snow 53, Liger 60, Jim Burns 53, Brian Bear 50, Sags 44, Brian Knobs 54, Tessia Kawada 65 and Shane Douglas 50. Brian Knobs in performance and Juice von der Liger in performance 62C. Nice. With Flair and Julie Brown should have a heated conversation and eventually come to blows. Scotty stormed the ring to break him up. That's just to hype their match this Sunday. And then our main event, in a good match, Sergeant Slaughter, Randy Savage, Jimmy Snuka and Dusty Rhodes defeat Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, Jerry Lawler and Ted DiBiase in 2003 and Sergeant Slaughter defeat Arn Anderson by pinfall. Dusty 81, Snuka 63, Randy Savage 76, Sergeant Slaughter 61, Ted DiBiase 73, Larry Zbyszko 65, Lawler 72, Arn Anderson 68. No work improvements, all the storylines advanced for that. 79B for the main event. That's the end of the Go Home edition of Impact. Probably a very lackluster Go Home show, but I think the build is all on what's going to happen to the House of Cornette this coming Sunday night. I'll see you on Sunday night's Impact to find out. Hello everyone and welcome to the free-for-all. This is Impact Wrestling, Final Resolutions. We've got one more little bit to do, which we're going to have a look at the WCW roster, and we're also going to have a look at what happens in the end of the year awards. But we've got 15,000 people tonight watching Impact Wrestling at the Boston Garden. And welcome to the free-for-all, the free show, which is free to everybody to watch. And in an extremely short pre-show match, we should have made this longer. Steve Blackman, Norman Smiley, Benoit and Blue Demon Jr. defeat Dave Finlay, Conan, Eddie Guerrero and Owen Hart in 502, and Blue Demon Jr. defeat Owen Hart by pin of the Ace Crusher. Blue Demon Jr. 53, Benoit 66, Norman Smiley 45, Steve Blackman 51, Owen Hart 63, Eddie Guerrero 64, Conan 53, Dave Finlay 54, Conan proven technical. There is only one match tonight I've booked, and I'm unsure whether I'm happy with the booking or not. But I've made it. I'm not changing. I don't change booking once it's booked. These two have great chemistry. Okay. The pre-show battle didn't have much heat. Ken Nagasaki defeated Goldust in 8:17 by pin for the power of hypnosis. Goldust 57, Ken Nagasaki 53. No appearance. These two have great chemistry with their performance. Yep, the House Cornet are back tonight, by the way. In a pre-show battle, I've had decent wrestling, done much heat. This was originally on the main card, but got moved to the pre-show because of the lightweight title. Rikai Kush, Kenta Kobashi and the Great Muda defeat Bam Bam Vida and Tornado in 540, when Kenta Kobashi defeat Tornado by pin with the Orange Crusher. I realised we was a part of the NWA for a while. The Great Muda 65, Kenta Kobashi 66, Rikai Kush 67, Tornado 49, Vader 58, Bam Bam Bigelow 58, Kenta Kobashi in Performance and Tornado in Technical 68C+. In a pre-show match, Jim Neidhart defeat LA Park in 7:37 by pin with the Anvil Flatliner. Jim Neidhart 57, LA Park 53. No work, LA Park improved the Rumble. In a decent pre-show match, Lex Luger defeated Avalanche PN News in 5:55 by pin with the Flying Forearm. He got a 26, Lex Luger got 66. No work, I was hoping that would help him improve. And then the pre-show match, decent match, Madonna Cheat, Mr. Perfect defeated Mike Rapid in 6:36 by pin with the Henning Plex. Mike Rapid 38, Mr. Perfect 71. No work on a 63C. Are you ready? The main show is about to start. Take your seats. Tonight, it is New Year's Eve, and it's meant to be a party, but here in Impact, there is no party, but the sounds of Raw are loud. Tonight, all titles will be defended. Will the House of Cornet get them all, or will they be left in the dust? Only time will tell as we count down till 1989. And now, Impact Wrestling and Stickers presents Final Revolutions 2! And then loads of choreography at the stage. We're showing the site for the Buried Alive match, and the structure of the Ultimate X is up. Ready? We're showing the fans are going crazy. And then we got Jim and Jesse, and they're like, hello, welcome to ringside. Jim Ross is with Jesse Ventura at ringside tonight. Tonight is the first night of our war with WCW. Jesse, tell us more. If they want to take our Monday slot on another channel and run a program, bring it. But put on something better than us. Let's kick off with the Automatics. The Demon has signed a waiver to say he's okay to be in this match. So, as you know, he got the injury to his elbow with the floating bone. So I have kind of put it in, but he's going to wrestle. But he's signed a waiver to say that he's fit to wrestle. 66C, not bad. 65C, sorry. 64C, though, not the night in a battle at decent wrestling number cheap. Tiger Mask defeated Demon in Ultimate X match 1504, when Tiger Mask retrieved the item with help from Jim Cornette. Tiger Mask makes defense number 3 of his Impact title. The Demon 41, Tiger Mask 68. No work for him yet. We know it took a big toll on him, but that's fine. In a battle at decent wrestling number cheap, the Superfly defeated Rock and Roll Express in 1452. when Ricky Knight defeated Ricky Morton by pinfall the Pile Driver. The Superflies make defense number 6 of their Impact Tag Team titles. Robert Gibson 58, Ricky Morton 60, Jimmy Ocean 50, and Ricky Knight 50. Not bad, a 61C. In a decent match, the British Bulldogs defeated Supernatural Force in a very live match in 14:55 when David Boy Smith trapped Mankind and The Undertaker, and also threw Paul Bearer in for good measure. Dynamite Kid 73, David Boy Smith 77, Mankind 47, The Undertaker 60. No working moves. All will make sense. I would like to announce now, please say goodbye to the Supernatural Force for the foreseeable future. I am going to be sending them away now for about 6 months on holiday, and Paul Bearer, to make it legitimate. I don't want them, like these guys turned up after. Yeah, we know that someone's going to complain. In a decent match, Carl Karma defeated John Tanner in 10:20 by pin of the top row splash. Carl Karma is now your Impact Intercontinental Champion. Carl Karma 42, John Tanner 55. No work improvements. John Tanner's getting better his gimmick. John Cornette did good work ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new Intercontinental Champion in Carl Karma. That means they have lost a title already tonight. Now, John Tenter, we're going to find out what happens with John Tenter in the House Cornet, but I don't think a lot's going to happen because he's one of Jim Cornette's favourites. But we'll see what happens. In above that decent wrestling, but little heat, Taz, Sabu, Rory Brookside, now Panther defeated Steven Regal, Archangel, Danny Collins, Sid Vicious in 4:35. But now Panther defeated Sid Vicious by pin with the standing top rope Frankensteiner. Nice. Mal Panther 50, Roy Brookside 49, Sabu 61, Taz 46, Sid Vicious 44, Danny Collins 56, Archangel 48, Steven Regal 42. Sid Vicious both in Rumble performance, which I'm glad about. 57C-. You must be nervous when you get to wrestle in front of this massive crowd. In a decent match, Nightmare Lords defeated Stein Brothers in 15:25 when Damien 666 defeated Rick Steiner by a pin for the Powerbomb. The Nightmare Lords make defense number 19 of their Impact World Tag Team titles. Scott Steiner 67, Rick Steiner 57, Tarocco's 63, Damien 666 59. Not a bad match for the tag team titles. Of course, we are going to be keeping. Don't expect them to lose the title until after a year. Just saying it. And January, February, March. So it'll either be March or it might be some anniversary they lose the belts. I don't know, but they are going to hold them for a full year. Because that was the plan originally, and I'm going to stick to it. In about a decent wrestling number, Sting defeated Doink the Clown in 15:14 by pinfall. Sting makes a defense number 3 of his Impact United States title. Doink the Clown 55, Sting 64, no work improvements. In about that decent wrestling, we're doing cheap. Brian Pillman defeated Black Warrior in 10:24 by pinfall flying cross through crossbody. Brian Pillman makes defense number 6 of his Impact Lightweight title. Black Warrior 58, Brian Pillman 69, no work improvements. 72B-, not bad. In a good match, Jimmy Snuka defeated Larry Zbyszko in 10:52 by pinfall the Superstar Superfly Splash. Jimmy Snuka 69, Larry Zbyszko 70, no work improvements, 74B-. In an exceptional match, Randy Savage defeated Stan Hansen in 9:33 by pinfall. Stan Hansen 77, Randy Savage 77, no work improvements, 79B. In about that decent wrestling match, High and Mighty defeated the Nasty Boys in 6:08 when Al Snow defeated Brian Knowles by pinfall the Snowplow. Juice von Liger and Al Snow have great chemistry. Jerry Sykes 48, Brian Knowles 58, Al Snow 59, Juice von Liger 68, and Juice von Liger improving performance 64C. In about that great wrestling and good heat, Ted DiBiase defeated Sergeant Slaughter in 14:49 by pinfall. Ted DiBiase 78, Sergeant Slaughter 69, no work improvements, 82B. In about that decent wrestling match, the Killer Bees defeated Acid Burn, Young Stallions in winning combination in 2022. The order elimination was winning combination first, then Acid Burn, then finally Young Stallions. Jim Bernzel 60, Brian Blair 53, Tetsuya Kawada 71, Shane Douglas 59, Jim Powers 51, Paul Ramone 52, Bob Holly 59, and Jeff Jarrett 63. Jim Bernzel in Technical, not a bad match, 65C. In a decent match, Arn Anderson defeated Ron Simmons in 6:38 by pinfall. Arn Anderson 73, Ron Simmons 56, no work improvement, 71C+. In a battle had superb wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Scott Hall defeated Jerry Lawler in 806 by pin for the Razor's Edge. Jerry Lawler 80, Scott Hall 76. Not a bad match actually from these two. Did better than I thought they would. 76 B minus. In an exceptional match, Ric Flair defeated Tully Blanchard in 13:53 by submission. Tully Blanchard 79, Ric Flair 84. No work room 79B. In an exceptional match, Dusty Rhodes defeated Roddy Piper in 14:13 by pin with the Bionic Elbow. Roddy Piper 90, Dusty 80. No work ropes. He sustained a broken rib for E1B. Thank you. We'll have to have him taped up. Next up is Bret Hart versus Masahiro Chono for the Impact Championship. In an exceptional match, Bret Hart defeated Masahiro Chono in 24:45 by pinfall. Bret Hart makes defense number 1 of his Impact Championship title. Masahiro Chono 79, Bret Hart 81. No work improvements. But he is getting better with his gimmick, which is good. That storyline is over. Most storylines you've seen me build up over this episode are going to change next month now because this is the final go home episode. Video plays hyping Big John Studd versus Shawn Michaels in the First Blood match. Goes an 85B. In an exceptional match, Shawn Michaels defeated Big John Studd in 30:02 and Big John Studd was busted open. It took him 30 minutes to do it though. Shawn Michaels makes defense number 9 of his Impact World title. Big John Studd 87, Shawn Michaels 92. No work improvements, an 85B. That's where we're going to end the show. And that, I think, the 85B was one of our better matches of the night. Looking at the entire card, there is no match will beat that. Big John Studd and Shawn Michaels have had a great feud, and it's the best way to end it with the First Blood match. So we're going to give it to these guys, the main eventers. Make speech. Was very happy. And I'll see you guys back at the main title screen as we go over the end of the year results. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. It's now 1989. Beautifully done. We'll ignore that. We did have a few on TV. That's fine. The rest of the year it goes to Yakasai Yusef. There you go. That's him. We'll have a look at the others see if anyone else. So WWF finally come to Nintendo with the NSE video game WWF WrestleMania, published by Acclaim Entertainment and developed by Rare, the makers of the licensed Wheel of Fortune game, also from the NES. WWF WrestleMania is getting mixed reviews, while many fans seem to still prefer the Nintendo developed and published Pro Wrestling. WWF fans have picked the game up as it's the only WWF game on Nintendo. Well, I don't think Bama Bigelow or him are actually in the game now because they work for us. 1998's Company of the Year has gone to All Japan Pro Wrestling, 2 Japanese. Team of the Year have gone to Steve Williams and Yakis Fujura. Won the trophy for the first time. Match of the Year goes to Harley Race versus defeating Hulk Hogan, which I agree with, and I do remember this match coming up. Now, where was it? Is it this one? There you go. Look at that, 100. Anyway, Show of the Year goes to has gone to the event from Joey, New Year Giant Series. Right, January of this past year, New Year. Right, if you can see that, that'd be very useful. There it is. Yeah, 96 A star. Definitely a good show from them. That's probably what gave them it. Young Wrestler of the Year has gone to Shaya Hashimoto. Veteran of the Year has gone to Kantai Hiroshi. Female Wrestler of the Year is Sherry Mattel. Now, I do believe we had her. She isn't even employed at the moment, but she has worked for GFW up until July. Most Improving Company of the Year goes to Impact Wrestling. Hooray! The American version has had a fine year of growth and will look to continue their rise over the coming year. Independent Wrestler of the Year goes to Spoiler. Manager of the Year goes to George Gillette. I don't agree with that at all. I think Jim Cornette has had a better year than him, but I would say that. Announcer of the Year goes to this Japanese guy. We are Colour Commentator of the Year. I already looked at that. This marks his second time with the trophy. Thank you. Referee of the Year goes to Tommy Young. This is the first time he's won the trophy. Tommy Young is unemployed. He doesn't work for anyone. Well, if he wants to be Referee of the Year, come on board and join Impact then, mate. Roddy Piper is injured. New Japan did a 92 last night, which kind of pulled us a bit below, but we did well. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. As you can see, we've got pay-per-view and TV, and then it's thrown on these companies. Right, so we've done all this. We've got all that. Shall we have a look at WCW Starrcade? Right. So we did go up against WCW last night with Starrcade. Let's have a look. 49D. Ooh, fuck you now. Excuse my French. Sorry, I won't beep it, but ignore me. 49D plus ridiculous WCW. Pre-shows Toy Graham defeating Chris Colt by DQ. Iceman King Parsons defeated Tony Anthony. Randy Rose defeated Big Reed. Byron St. John defeated Bob Yuma by DQ. Moondog Rex defeated George Wales. Ron Brass defeated Bill Malarkey. Buddy Rose and Doug Summers defeated Barry Orton and Keith Hart for the tag team titles. Buck Zumhoff defeated Mike Graham. Manny Fernandez defeated Terry Gibbs. Scott Irwin defeated Jerry Oates to the United States. Ed Clancy defeated Woohoo McDaniel. And then One Given defeated Boz Zero to WCW. The reason it's such a low rating is look at how crap half of these matches are. And you think that's bad, you want to see their bloody roster. Their roster is awful. Let's go to World Championship Wrestling. You know, just look at this. They've got some great wrestlers like Adrian Street here. But the main event scene, right? Let's have a look at the main event scene. They've got Barry Zufoff, Buddy Rose, Don Morocco, Ed Kolansky, Manny Ferdinand, Nick Bockwinkel, who's 54 years old, Ron Gervin, and Woohoo McDaniel, who's 50. Probably their two most popular stars are in their 50s. So it's not going to last long. So, the fact they're also doing, Nick Bockwinkel, and they're doing good. So we'll keep an eye on WCW, who are second in the world and more popular than us. But they're doing shows like that, and as you will see, if I go back on it, where is it? It's down here, isn't it? World Championship House WCW Starrcade 1988 last night in Johnny Field Stadium drew 25,097 fans. Feedback has been decent, although hardly spectacular. Decent? You call that decent? Oh shit. Another company that I've had to make up, I've had to do a few changes, is Big Time Wrestling in Britain, who were another company when I still do a thing. We got CMML now as CMML, and there is another one somewhere. Where is it? Legion Pro Wrestling was under AWA, but you can see they're under that name now. Order of the Phoenix was CMML, but that's now that one. And we've also got Outlaw Championship Wrestling, which has been doing better in WCW. Just saying. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you again next week on the same day, same time, the same place for more Impact Wrestling. And this time, it's 1989. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying Season 2 so far.